times people going up into the mountains to make charcoal, to burn whatever wood they can get, and that leads to the precarious natural situation where you have an earthquake or a hurricane and the mudslides that from Petronville down, right, exactly, that make the crisis much worse.
And exactly, and Amy, just in the days before this, there was a lot of rain, so a lot of this is mudslides. I mean, the ground was already saturated with water, so it was extremely unstable, and I think that made the collapses even more terrible.
Well, we're going to continue to cover the story, of course. It's expected at least 3 million of the 10 million people of Haiti have been seriously affected by this. Disaster specialists say various mathematical models for an earthquake of such a magnitude predict that perhaps 4,000 people could have been killed. We don't know. But right now we're going to turn back to what we touched on earlier, and it's the issue of immigration. And we want to turn back to Edwidge to tell us the story of her uncle. You may wonder why we're talking about this today, but Haiti has been the epicenter of natural and political crises, and particularly affected by its powerful neighbor to the north, the United States. Edwidge, what happened to your uncle over 5 years ago?
Before that, Amy, I would just like to, on the issue of aid, I feel that it's, there will be corruption and so forth, but I don't want to discourage people who would like to give. There are some wonderful organizations that are already working within Haiti, organizations like Dr. Paul Farmer's Partners in Health and the Lumby Fund and Doctors Without Borders. So I don't want sort of in the more political talk to discourage people from giving, because in whatever, or to try to help in whatever way they can, because it's going to be extraordinarily needed. On that being said, on the my uncle's story, it's very ironic. I've been thinking about my uncle throughout this whole issue, because I'm not even sure now that the building where he lived and that where he did all of his work is still standing. He lived in Bel Air, which, as someone had said, is just shattered and broken right now for more than 50 years. And in 2004, because of a threat by gangs there, had to leave. And he had been coming to the United States for about 30 years, on and off as visiting. And after this incident at his house with a confrontation with a gang, he came to Miami, where I live, and he requested what he called temporary asylum. He was arrested and brought to jail at the Detention Center. He was 81 years old, a cancer survivor who spoke with a voice box, and his medications were taken away, and he died a few days later in the custody of the Immigration Service.
He died at the Chrome Detention Center. His medication taken away.
He died at, well, he died in the hospital. He was taken finally to Jackson Memorial Hospital after he was accused of faking his illness. When finally it seemed like he was near death, they took him to the hospital.
And Edwidge Dantica, you also you write about this in your book, Brother, I'm Dying, the difficulty of getting information and just dealing with immigration bureaucracy, trying to get information about your uncle, and also what happened after his death. They gave you the body they performed an autopsy and gave you very little information of what actually happened. Can you talk about that?
Well, while he was in the hospital, he was attached to chained to a bed, shackled to a bed, in the prison ward of the hospital. We were not allowed to see him there, and even when he died, we tried to confirm that he had died. And the night that he died, someone had called me to say that, and I called the hospital, and they said,